Hello guys, in this video I will talk about the Angular forms. So let me share my screen. So in this video I will talk about the forms. So, so here I will cover the basic things of the forms. So let me give you basic overview. So you can build any type of form like login, like contact, like subscription form, like you need some inputs from the user. So you can use these form. So I think you also must have idea of the HTML forms. So this is similar like that, but you can do more manipulation. You can do more behaviors. You can do lots of things. You can validate the data using the forms. So here I will cover the basic aspects. So as I mentioned, all the things: update, info, business, data analysis. So let's move to the one by one all the things. Let's cover. So we have two approaches to handle input forms in Angular. So here we have the reactive and template driven forms. So in Angular we have two types of forms. So I will update you about both the forms. Let me just update some things here. Currently is input form. So we have reactive and we have template driven form. So let's just a second, let me update the slide also. So firstly we will cover the template driven form. So template driven form is basically it is your just a simple form, and means it follows a two-way binding. If you know about two-way binding, means you will get the updated data after clicking on any field. So you means it follows a two-way binding. So it for simple form it is good to use this form. So it tracks form automatically and it handles, and data is handled by Angular, and it has minimum component code. So I will show you all those things one by one. What minimum code of template driven, what is the code for the reactive forms. So it is recommended that it is easy but not to use for complex scenarios. So these things I will cover it also later. So these are the asynchronous forms. So this is the basic of template driven form. So let me give you the example also of the template driven form. So a template driven form, as you can see, if a form is a thing that if in that we get the data from the user. So here what we have done, we have used the ng model. So this is our, we can say it is a template driven form. So let me show you here. This is a template driven form that I am currently talking about. Let me check that we have run the single detail. Okay, so we have run the single detail. So this is the simple form. Now if you click on the button, let me add some event here so that you will get the basic of understanding. what means what updated value you will get. So let me show you here. So this is the form. So here you can see that you will get the updated value of that field. So if there is 100 fields, and I think it is complex to maintain all those things. So that's why it is mentioned that it is not for the complex scenarios or the big forms. And one more thing, if you want to use ng model here, you also need to include some module from the Angular. So here we have imported the reactive forms and forms module. So if you want to use that in your project, so you also need to import that in the app module or whatever the module you want this thing in use. So this is available in the Angular forms, as you can see here. So let's move to the another form. So our next kind of form is the reactive form. So reactive forms are basically it is also called as model driven form. It is used in large application that I already mentioned. This form uses the reactive form module utility. So let me move it to the code part. And it is more flexible, but it needs lots of practice. So as I will give you the basic example, but you need to do a lot of practice to use this form, because there are lots of packages it used or lots of utility it is used. You can easily handle any complex scenarios. Data binding is not allowed in this. They are immutable data model. Immutable, basically data is not changed. Data will be not going to change. And another thing is it has less HTML markup, more component code. Component code is basically whatever the code is written in the TS file, not in the component HTML. With that you can add elements dynamically. You can easily do unit testing. These forms are synchronous. So let me give you the basic example of this. So before giving the basic, firstly, okay, understand the basic example. So in here what we do, here we use the form control. Means in the reactive form we use the form control. Let me show you here. So this is the form control, and here we are going to add the value. It is related to the hybrid game with form control. So let me show you here. Let me add the name here also. Just a second, let me check this error. So here we are in the single detail form. So basically So we are on the retail form. So previously we are getting the error. So now what we have to do, we have to use the form control name to fetch the value. So let me show you the basic example. So before moving forward, so let me update you some more utilities. So this is the reactive form basic, and so in the reactive form, as I mentioned, like you have to use reactive form module. You need to import that in the app module. And so here these are terms that you need to understand, like there is form control. So it tracks, so in Angular it provides some services with that you can use this form easily. So we have form control, we have form group, we have form array, and we have form array name. So as you implement this in the project, so you will get the basic understanding of all those things. So we have the form control. Let me update it in the different slide. So here we have form control. It basically tracks the value and validation status of individual form control. It indicates every single field as a form control name. So whatever the fields you are going to use, you need to use the form control name with each field. So whatever the value is in the in that field, you will get the updated value from here. So for this form is basically means it is a collection of form control values. So it is a collection of all those form control values that we have discussed previously. So here means, as you can see here, means we can so this is the basic syntax of form group. So this is a form, and this is a form group that we have created, and we have this form control here. So you can add the multiple fields in the forms, and you can easily track that. Next is form array. So if the value is in the if there are more values in any control, like we have address, in address we have pin code, we have a house number, so we can group that in the different group. It is basically handling the array of form controls. It indicates multiple fields such as form array name and form group name. Form array names is basically used, let me show you, to add the values dynamically. With this you can create multiple records. Means you want to add multiple records, so means you can add the add button here, and you can add the multiple records accordingly. So I will give you example of both the cases. Next is control value assessor. It basically creates a bridge between the Angular form control instances and the built-in DOM elements. So means if you want to fetch at the value of any form control, then you need to use the control value assessor. So let me give you the basic example. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a form with the one control, and here what we are going to initialize the form. So what you need firstly you need to do, you need to create a form group, then you need to add the control, whatever the controls we are going to use in the form. So here what we are doing, and let me show you, we have added a single form control, and we have added in the form. And here what we have added, we have created a group, and we have added the controls, whatever the controls in that. So as you can see here, we have import that from all the things from the Angular forms. So let me show you here. So favorite game with form controls. So we have added the last time we have added the soccer. Now we can edit the cricket here. Now as you can see here, So here what we have added the both game. So means to fetch the value of any control, you can use the getter and getter. So here in the group we are going to pass the control, and you can fetch the value of that control. So here you can see here it fetch the value of cricket. So this is example that we have. So and this is the common use case, like we can use in the login, you can use it in the register any user, you can use it in the contact info to fetch any contact info. So these are the cases you need to follow. So thanks guys for watching.